What's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Ox,
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my incredible wife, Iana.
Oh, and this is my incredibly sensitive husband, Ayize.
I'm not really feeling the sensitive.
I knew you was going to say that. You're sensitive to my needs. You're sensitive to the environment. You're sensitive to, certain situations. You're just intuitive like that. That's just who he is. Is that not?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. Here's the scenario. Husband and wife getting a divorce because of infidelity. The question is, should you tell your children? And if so, at what age should you tell your children?
What do you say, my dear husband? I already know what you say.
What I say is this. I think that it's good to tell your children, but if you're going to tell them, I think that the appropriate age should be 18 and over.
Y'all believe that?
And the reason why I say that is because
somebody out there like, yeah.
Children are very impressionable. So I think that, when children become adults, they've reached an age where they've pretty much not really cemented, but they develop some understanding of how relationship dynamics work. And they've probably been in a few relationships. And as a result, they've come to some, like I said, some understanding of this whole infidelity issue and how it might rear its ugly head in relationships. So my main thing is this. If you tell a child too young, because they are impressionable, because they look to their parents as being the primary influencers of, how they interact with the world, but also how they interact in relationship, it could be a very sticky and dangerous situation with them having that information, that knowledge too soon. So my concern is that if you tell your child that I cheated, that your spouse cheated, the reality is that they might end up with a false understanding of how relationships work and think that cheating is the norm, cheating is the expectation, cheating is the way that relationships work.
Wrap it up.
I mean, why you
breaking you down? I think cheating is the norm.
So that's my opinion right there. I think wait until they're over 18 to share that, because up until that point, what you can say is that, we just, had some things that we weren't able to work out, and we think that it was best that we decided to separate.
I don't agree. I do agree. Let me tell you first what I do agree with. I do agree with the fact that children are very impressionable. They're like sponges. They absorb everything around them, even the unsaid. So you cannot say what's really going on all you want to. Our children are absorbing the reality of it. And, I think that there is a certain age that is appropriate. I do think that once you get to about maybe 11 or 12,
they haven't even had a real relationship yet.
It doesn't matter, because as you said, my dear, what did my husband say? He said that they are learning about relationship dynamics, about how to engage in relationships by being in a family, in relationship with their family members, and seeing their parents in relationship, whether you're married or whether you're not. So what other way to model the best way to be in relationships than to be truthful, even in the midst of the pain, even in the midst of the hurt? Again, I'm saying 11 or 12 have some sense of maturity, because I do think maturity is very important to weigh in. Every child matures differently and at different rates. But I'm always, for the most part, I'm a staunch advocate against deception. Because here's what will happen. First of all, when you turn 18, nothing happens magically. Nothing happens. No. I let you have a flow, bruh. Okay. Let me get the flow. Now, at 18, nothing magically happens. My husband said by the time they're 18, they've been in a couple of relationships, not necessarily so. And what you also said is they have some understanding of relationship dynamics, not necessarily so.
More so than 11.
What kind of work do? We work with people all day, every day, who have no sense of what it means to be in relationship, have poor examples because they were not taught and they did not see things that were appropriate. So we can't take that for granted. The only thing that happens for human beings that enables them to navigate their relationship successfully is appropriate modeling and teaching. It doesn't happen just because. So you can be 35, 45, 55, or 65 and be effed up when it comes to how to engage in relationships. There's nothing that happens magical because, you become a certain age. So I'm saying that I think it's a disservice to keep things from children because we think they can't handle it. Children are more resilient than we know, and there are lots of children, most children, who will tell you 9 times out of 10, I want to know what the situation is. I want to hear what's really going on. And it's how the parents deal with it. It's how they come to that child. It's how they present it to them. Can you prevent the pain? Can you prevent the anger that the child might have towards another parent? Can you prevent the rebellion? Can you prevent the betrayal that they feel that the one parent has bestowed upon their entire family? No, you cannot.
But you can minimize the confusion by allowing them to mature. Hold up.
By allowing them to mature. And I said 11 to 12, and then that's not too soon, because the reality is at that point they can experience feelings of betrayal. They can experience feelings of confusion and hurt and pain, and they can see how mom and dad, in the midst of that, still work together. In the midst of that, they still come together for the children. In the midst of that, they're able to still be honest, and they're still able to learn how to press through, stop playing, and start pushing. And I'll tell you what, that's a better lesson for any young boy to learn who's going to be a man one day. A better lesson for any little girl to learn who's going to be a woman one day, than to have that held from them and to keep them from that. It's a disservice, because when they become a man or a woman, now they don't know how to deal with the reality of real pain, the reality of how to move ahead and stick through some things or figure out how to be in a relationship appropriately. They don't know how to do that because they didn't see their parents do it, and they never had the benefit of having someone show them how to do that. So I personally think it can be done. I do think it takes a lot of maturity, and I will say to anybody out there dealing with a situation similar to this, even to the best and most insightful folks, you got to get a third party in. Get a third party in to help you be able to talk to your children about the reality of this. Do I think you need to dwell on it and talk, and then he went over her house, and then blah, 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 but children want to know. Everybody wants to know. Why y'all not going to be together? You can't tell me we just disagree on some things, and that's not a real relationship. You just disagree on some things, and you're gonna break up. You're not going to be married now. What does that mean? So that's a falsehood. So now the children know you're keeping something from me. There will be no child who thinks you're telling them the truth. So now they know that you're going to lie to me, and children get resentful and angry because you're lying to me and you're not telling me what's going on, and you have the nerve to lie to me and you're breaking up our family. You better come with the truth.
I'm not feeling 11.
You better come with me with the truth.
One thing that I am feeling is that you want to make sure that when you do tell your child, that you don't vilify your spouse in the process.
Absolutely.
I think that it's key that, the person who engaged in the infidelity, I think they should be the one to speak up, take responsibility for their actions, and share with their child, if you all both agree to do so, that they were the ones who messed up. And again, don't point the finger at your spouse and say, your father did this, or your mother did this. That right there isn't cool, because again,
the person who messed up is the person who should come forward and say, this is what I did. That's in the best case scenario, because a lot of times 2 people can't even come together. So if you all are mature enough, for your family, hopefully the person will come through and say that. We don't know if it always will go like that. For the most part, it won't always go like that, but that would be the best case scenario that I can think of. My husband says he thinks they need to be grown adults, at least legally. 18 years of age, as if somehow 18 is the age of automatic insight.
I didn't say that.
But I do not think that you have to wait that long. Everybody out there has an opinion, so we want to hear yours. Please give it to us. As always, keep it real, stop playing, and start pushing.